Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell, lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry, and of course, I'm here with Lee Cockerell. And Lee, I before we started recording, gave you an update on my dog after his surgery. He's finally doing well. His most of his restrictions have been lifted, which means most of my restrictions have been lifted, and I can finally travel and come back to Florida.
But now you have no money left, so you can't go because you spent so much fixing him.
Yes, dog surgery is very expensive.
What'd that
That
cost?
oh my goodness, Lee, it topped $9,000.
Whoa. Well,
Yes.
you're a good man.
Well, he's my best pal. That's like there was no choice.
You told your kids you wouldn't spend that much on them for a leg fix, but the dog you got to take care of.
Yeah, but he is bionic now, so
And
his
he loves you and appreciates you.
yeah, we even went to the salt water. He walked in the water for the first time in 2 or 3 months and
Oh, good.
just thought he was in paradise.
Well, and you had a good surgeon there. That's really, you talk about talent they can do today. It's amazing. So good.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
and the interaction with the staff, the surgeon and the staff was great. I mentioned that I can travel to Florida now to say if I was going to come for vacation, I would call our friends at Magical Vacation Planner. I would reach them at 407-442-2694 if you want to go visit Disney World or Epic Universe, fly down for a cruise, call
good.
Magical Vacation Planner.
Yeah.
All right, Lee, we've got an interesting topic. I'll tell you something before Lee talks. We've done more than 560 episodes. And the way that we do these is Lee never knows what we're going to talk about before the episode starts. That's how he prefers it. He performs really well that way. It makes it fun. And the answer that you hear Lee give to my questions is straight from the gut because it's whatever comes to mind. There's been, I would say, maybe 560 episodes. There's maybe been 5 times Lee knew ahead of time what we are going to talk about. And today, he came to me and said, I've got a topic I want to talk about. I'm seeing something out there that I think needs addressed that we need to talk about. So, this is one of those rare times, perhaps the sixth time that Lee knows what we're going to talk about. But that shows you how important Lee feels this topic is that he brought it forward and said, I want to talk about this. So, Lee, what's on your mind?
Well, I've been working with some universities recently and doing some work for education, and it's become clear, and I've been reading about it too, and understanding what's going on in this area of how many college students, particularly first year, and even after that, are suffering from some simple to serious mental health issues. And everything from being away from home for the first time to the pressure of having to study in college at a different level, having to manage their own life. Mom's not there to take care of things. Just one insecurity after another, which is not uncommon. We all get exposure to different situations, which creates anxiety. You know, you could some people, if you travel, they have anxiety, have never been someplace, or they're in a tough situation, or. But this one is, I was reading last week some documents about that some of the schools are saying that 60% of the first year students have some mental health issues and need counseling and need some help in this area. And I think what I was thinking about is one school I talked to said 40% of the freshmen needed counseling and they didn't have enough counselors because that's expensive to keep counselors on the pair. They just didn't have enough. Some of them were having to wait 1, 2, 3 months to see a counselor, which is dangerous also with certain mental health issues, including suicide and health issues. And drinking too much and going out partying instead of, or whatever it is. And I think I was thinking about that a lot. Is that part of the problem we're having in the workforce too? Is it's the country's become more isolated. Kids are not as engaged as they were in my time, going out together, doing things together. There's a lot of isolation. People in their room playing games, or on their phones, on social sites, with some belief that that is their social life. Uh, I read yesterday, one lady said, men don't even know how to flirt anymore. It's all kind of technology, and talking to people there and looking for a date online, and they've lost that kind of skill, or walking up to a lady and saying, "I'd love to take you out for dinner," or something like. And isolation becomes greater and greater and greater, and the more you're isolated, the more you become isolated. You get this kind of feeling, hey, I don't want to go out. I'm not going to do anything. I don't know anybody. You're insecure about, and because it's not being done, and people are not doing it the way they used to. And I wonder if this doesn't translate to the workforce, that people come out of college and they come to work and we hire them, and I think a lot of them had good counseling, and they know how to present themselves and look sharp when they go in for an interview, hopefully. And they know how to say the right things and all. But this lingering problem they may be having with insecurity, ego problems, stress from the workplace, especially if you got a brand new job out of college, the stress of they're watching you. Are you going to make it? Are you going to get promoted? Are you going to get a good rating? Are you going to get a salary increase next year? Is your career going to develop the way that you anticipate that it could? And I think this ongoing insecurity and isolation, then we have turnover, because and we've heard and we hear more that a lot of young people have trouble with feedback. They don't do well with getting corrected, and then they end up quitting. Or all of a sudden you tell them they got to work 6 days or on a project, or you got to work weekends, and they quit. And I think that the quitting is probably anxiety, it's probably stress, it's probably affecting them physically and mentally, and then they don't know what to do. So the point of this whole thing is the employers have got to really pay attention to this. Employers have got to really pay attention to being available, and maybe more empathy in how you deal with your employees, and be on the lookout for this, and talk about it more. Talk about it. The bosses need to become more empathy, in my mind, and to inquire, how are you doing, and in this area, how are you doing, how's the stress, how are you getting the job done, do you need anything, and we need to be talking, as the leaders need to be talking to them as, how are you doing and what do you need, and is there anything we can do to make your assimilation into the company better, and getting people to talk about this. Let me tell you, I think everything in life is better when you talk about it, and be aware of it. And many young people won't unless you really make it easy, because they're afraid to bring it up. They're thinking, well, what are they going to think if I tell them that I'm having problems and can't sleep at night, and I don't feel like I'm being treated right, and all these things that come up that we all have every day when we interact with other humans. And so I would say to the employers, they're all complaining about turnover, and I know it's a fact. I know a lot of young people that are suffering from anxiety and sleep problems, and concerned about their future and their finances, and everything from healthcare to rent and housing costs and safety, and everything that's going on in the world. And so I think we we could all sit back and say, well, it's not my problem. But, really, it is your problem. And it is what it is. And we've got to not be that leader that is tough, you know, uh, like back in the 80s and 90s and maybe 2000, where, hey, they don't do the job, I get rid of them. No, these are smart young people, and we need them, and we need to assimilate them into the workforce, and we need to help them grow that confidence level. Because I think a lot of times right now in their life at 18, 19, 20, 21, they're not having these issues. They are isolated. They are on their phones. They are, most of everything they do is technically done and not with a human interaction, and then not with meeting somebody and not sitting down and talking about things eyeball to eyeball. And it could get worse with this AI. All of a sudden your annual review gets sent to you in a voice, and it's not a human, and you have no interaction, and you get insecure. When you get insecure, you get stressed and you get anxiety, and eventually your performance goes down. And when your performance goes down, next thing you know, well, you could get fired, but a lot of times you just leave. You just say, this is not for me. And so I would say to the leaders out in the world, step up and get involved in this and make it a part of your company and part of the culture, that we talk about this, and there's no stigma to bringing it up or coming in and talking about it and talking about your concerns. Because half the battle in life, let me tell you, is talking about it. And your boss said, oh, okay, here, we can do this, do that. I'd be happy to. Well, both sides have got to get more open about, we got to resolve this. Because if we don't resolve it, we're going to have performance problems, we're going to have turnover problems, we're going to have product problems, safety problems, uh, unlimited, when people are not happy and are stressed out and feeling depressed. And that's kind of my point of view on this. I'm reading a lot about it, and it's getting worse. And we've got to first be aware of it, and then figure out what to do about it. And I would say at home too, with all our, people at home with your kids, don't believe that everything's fine. Uh, uh, Somebody said, when when you ask your daughter or son how's everything, everything's fine. Well, that's what all teenagers say. And that doesn't mean it is fine. That's when you got to investigate, because they don't want to tell us anything. But be aware, pay attention, observe their attitude, performance, their behavior, their sleep habits, and see if there's anything there before it becomes a problem, because the problems can be pretty severe if we don't stop this and make them feel safe, and that they're on the right track. So that's all I was thinking about today.
Lee, if we are a supervisor and we hear what you say and say, okay, I better watch, get more in touch with the people that are in the workplace. What can we look for? So if we're just talking our direct reports, what should we look for to see
Yeah,
about anxiety?
I think the best advantage you're going to have, if people who already, when they know you or hear about you, that they hear, this guy you can trust. He's available. You can talk to him about anything. That'll give you the big advantage. And then I think when you talk to people, get it down to the everyday level. How are you doing? Are you having any issues with sleep? Is there anything we can do to help you with getting your job done? Are you having cooperation from people? You can tell me the truth, and I won't get you in trouble. I'm going to help you. I want you to be successful here. And slowly but surely, as they learn to trust you, and you'll get it out of them. I think, I mean, I've learned that over my own career. I can sit down and talk to anybody, and they don't think they're going to talk to me before they leave, though. They've told me everything, because I make it easy, and it's not, there's no danger, and I'll never get them in trouble. And they'll go out in the world and tell them Lee's took care of it. And I didn't have a problem, and he was nice, and he understood. And I know, I've been there. We've all been there. So I know how they feel. And just because I'm the boss, don't become a big deal. Your job is really to be a leader. And to lead is to help people be better and get them through tough times and hard times. And So that's all. Just make it a part of who you are, not just get the work done. Get the work done. Yeah. So
If we find this isolation leads to anxiety in the workplace and we found someone who's struggling with it, what can we do about it?
yeah, I think there's a lot of things. Churches have a lot of counselors. You can go to your church, and they have some good ones. They have some great ones. You can contact United Way has counselors. Universities have counselors. Universities, and and by the way, they know it's a problem. I mean, and a lot of companies now have it available as a benefit. It's a the people who said take a mental health day, take a day off and just go spend it with your children. And everybody's become more aware of this, that it's not a stigma when you bring it up. It's reality. And in fact, your boss has probably got more anxiety than you do. And literally, CEOs are lasting like 3 years because they're just can't handle the stress. And so it's becoming more clear. Even generals in the army are speaking up about it. And as we all make it more okay, it's kind of like saying, I got the flu. We don't mind saying that, uh, but we got to say I'm having issues. And this is each person, each leader will be either really good at this, creating. Not, don't worry about the company. Worry about you, the leader. Are you creating this safe place where I can help you be better mentally, physically, with your work, feedback, whatever it is? There's nothing, it's the last 20% people don't tell you that gets everybody in trouble. They don't say, well, I'm really struggling here. I'm not sleeping well. My wife and I are having problems. So, so we've got to go deeper. We got to dig the hole a little deeper to get down there and help them find out and make it safe. Make sure you make clear with them that they are safe to talk about this. That's the key, and that's a talent we all got to get better at. And I told you I went through that with Priscilla. She's having a lot of problems with her back and on. And, I was kind of not paying much attention, and it's the way it is. And one day I said to her, "Look, I could see the stress." And I said, "Priscilla, I want to tell you something right now. I'm going to take care of you, and nothing you ask me to do is going to annoy me. You can anything. I don't care how many times, because I've got an attitude change right now, and I'm going to take care of you." She was like, I thought she was going to cry. She was so relieved to know, okay, I got this issue, and Lee's going through it with him, and he's committed. And commitment means you go all the way. And we got to make sure we tell our people we're working with, we're committed to them being successful. And you got to help me know what you need, and I need to be better at finding out what you need. So it's real. It's real, and it's a big problem. It's a big issue. I mean, really, right now the whole country's mad about something. The whole world is mad actually about something, and so we got to calm this down. And it's a cultural issue. Yeah.
Well, this has been a great look at it to understand isolation creates anxiety in the workplace. And as a leader, look for it, talk about it. If you've built a reputation and relationship, maybe your team will come and talk to you about it. But if you have questions about it, reach out to either one of us. We're happy to talk to you. We won't even make it an episode of the podcast. So Lee's at leecockerell.com. I'm at jodymayberry.com. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.